Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
It was a Thursday morning like any other, or so I thought. The Denver skyline stretched behind our frosted windows, quiet and soft in the early light. Dominic was already in the kitchen, humming Sinatra, spooning espresso into the machine like it was a ritual crafted just for him. I lingered in the hallway, sipping water and watching the faint glow of our life together. Routine, stable, warm. Until his phone buzzed. It was face up on the counter. I wasn't snooping, but when the screen lit up, it greeted me with a sentence I'd never forget. Can't wait to feel you again. I still have the necklace from last weekend. I love you. My heart stopped, then raced like a bird trapped in my ribcage. I love. This message echoed like a gunshot. Dominic walked past me, coffee in hand. You okay, babe? You look pale. I'm fine, I said, voice even. Just tired. But I wasn't tired. I was split open, and for the first time in years, I didn't rush to fix it. That night, while Dominic slept beside me, breathing slow, safe in his lies, I sat in the living room with his laptop. He never changed his old passwords. Within minutes, I was staring at emails and calendar events, laced with affection that wasn't mine. Her name was Charlotte Williams, married, gorgeous, and worse, familiar. I Googled her. She was the wife of Connor Williams, the nationally beloved TV presenter. The irony burned. America's sweetheart was living a lie, just like me. The screen blurred as I scrolled through attachments. A red lace set, photos at the lake cottage. Our lake cottage, the place where Dominic proposed to me 8 years ago. I couldn't cry, not yet. Instead, I wrote a message. Mr. Williams, I believe your wife and my husband are having an affair. I have evidence. I thought you should know. I stared at it for a full hour before clicking send. My phone buzzed the next morning. A message. Let's meet. I need to see it for myself. His name appeared below the text, Connor Williams. And just like that, the ground beneath my life began to crack. And I knew I would never be the same again. The cafe sat on a quiet corner near Colfax, a place that smelled of burnt espresso and unwritten confessions. I chose a table by the window. My hands trembled against the ceramic cup, but my gaze stayed fixed on the door. At exactly 11 o'clock, Connor Williams walked in. He looked nothing like the polished man from the television. His posture sagged beneath a tailored coat, and his eyes that once smiled for millions, were dull, rimmed with fatigue. He spotted me instantly. Selena? He asked, his voice a low baritone laced with disbelief. I nodded. Thanks for meeting. He sat, folding his hands, his wedding ring catching a sliver of light. I slid my phone across the table and opened the message thread. Dominic and Charlotte, their affair sprawled in careless words. He stared at the screen, swiping in silence. You knew? I asked softly. I suspected, Connor said, but seeing it hurts in a whole new way. His lips thinned into a hard line. When he reached a photo, Charlotte in red lingerie, his hand curled into a fist. She told me she needed space, that she was tired, not that she was tired of me. I swallowed hard. They're meeting again, this weekend, at the lake cottage. His gaze flicked to mine. Connor leaned back, his jaw clenching, the flicker of betrayal passing across his face like a cloud over the sun. What do we do? I asked. He was silent for a moment, then looked up, eyes sharp. We get there first. No yelling, no breakdowns. Just presence. Let them walk into the truth they tried so hard to bury. Like holding up a mirror, I whispered. He nodded. Exactly. Let them see what they've become. For a beat, neither of us spoke. The idea settled over us, cold, precise, and oddly satisfying. We weren't partners, not yet. But in that moment, we were bound by a wound we hadn't asked for. And somewhere deep inside me, something shifted. I wasn't just the betrayed wife anymore. I was the woman about to reclaim her story. We arrived at Lake Granby just past noon on Sunday. The sky hung low with gray clouds, mirroring the mood inside me, heavy, waiting to burst. The mountain air was sharp, tinged with pine and old promises. As Connor parked behind a thicket of trees, the cottage appeared through the mist like a memory I didn't want to remember. This was where Dominic knelt in the snow 8 years ago, shivering with nerves, asking me to be his forever. Now, forever looked like broken glass and betrayal. Connor carried a bag of wine and crystal glasses. She loves Merlot, he said with bitter irony. Inside, nothing had changed. The same oak beams, the same stone fireplace. My fingers trembled as I reached for the playthrough on the armchair, Dominic's favorite. I set it over the backrest, like preparing a stage for the final act. "We'll sit here," Connor said, pulling 2 chairs opposite the front door. "Let them walk in. Let them see everything." We placed 2 glasses on the table, poured the wine, and adjusted the lighting to a soft amber glow. Not too harsh, not too forgiving. I glanced at the clock. 5:43 p.m. Connor leaned against the wall, his eyes scanning the room like a battlefield. "Do you think of the night?" I asked, folding my arms. "No," he said. "Not when they see us." At 5:58, we'd heard a car door slam. Laughter. Footsteps. Then the door creaked open. Charlotte entered first, her smile freezing mid-breath. Dominic followed, his arm brushing hers, and then he stopped dead. "Selena?" he choked. What is this?" I stood slowly. "A reunion," I said coldly. "Welcome back to where you destroyed everything." Dominic's face turned ghostly. The champagne bottle he held slipped and shattered on the floor. Charlotte's eyes widened, darting between us. She clutched her stomach suddenly and whispered, barely audible, "I'm pregnant." Time slowed. Connor's voice cut through the silence. "Dominic, congratulations. You've managed to destroy 2 marriages in the place you built on dreams." The only sound after that was the wind howling outside, like the lake itself was mourning. The silence after Charlotte's confession was thick, ugly. Dominic's jaw clenched, his hand twitching toward her instinctively. I saw the panic creep behind his eyes like wildfire catching dry brush. "You're pregnant?" he whispered, but not to me, not even to Connor, just to her. Charlotte nodded, trembling. I only found out last week." Connor turned to her slowly. "You knew. And you still came here, with him, to the place considered a family sanctuary." Dominic stepped forward, his voice cracking. "Selena, listen." "No," I snapped. "You don't get to speak first. Not after the months of lying, of disappearing for work dinners and late flights that never existed." He looked at me with pleading eyes. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "But it did," I said, the words sharp and bitter. "And you didn't just cheat on me, you mocked our life. You used this cottage, our memories, as a stage for your betrayal." Charlotte sat down slowly, one hand still on her stomach, her face pale. "It wasn't just lust. We fell in love." Connor let out a hollow laugh. "You fell in love, being married to a man who was willing to move mountains for you." Dominic took a step toward me, his voice desperate. "I lost my job this week, Selena. They found out. The company didn't want the scandal." My heart clenched, but not from pity, from exhaustion. Then maybe this is the cost. The price of 2 lives wasted on illusions. Charlotte sobbed softly, Connor frozen at her side, silent now. Rage no longer flickered in his eyes, just emptiness. I turned toward the door. "I'm done, Dominic. You'll hear from my attorney." Connor followed, silent until we reached the car. "I'm staying with a friend for now," he murmured. "But I'll raise that child. Because I love her. God help me." I nodded. "You're stronger than me." "No," he said quietly, "you're just done pretending this can be rebuilt." And he was right. Ruins don't rebuild themselves. Sometimes you have to walk away from the rubble before it buries you. 1 year later, I stood on the small balcony of my downtown apartment, a mug of lavender tea warming my hands. The skyline stretched before me, unfolding like the blank page of a life yet to be written. It was quiet now, not lonely quiet. Peace had a sound, I'd learned, and it was nothing like silence. It was the sound of not needing anyone to complete you. My phone buzzed, a message from Connor. "She gave birth yesterday. A girl. We named her Elise." I smiled faintly, typing back. "Wishing you both peace and grace." He didn't ask to see me. I didn't ask how Charlotte was. We had shared a battlefield and survived. That was enough. As the wind brushed through my hair, I glanced at the potted lilies swaying gently on the railing. I planted them in spring, my first act of rebuilding something for myself. Dominic had never reached out again. Not with apologies, not with explanations, and I was grateful. Closure, I learned, isn't something you're handed. It's something you claim.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.